Let me ask you something. When you look at your partner today, do you feel the same way you did when you first fell in love? Maybe you still do, and that's a beautiful thing. But if we're being honest, most long-term relationships go through phases. Over the years, love shifts. The fiery passion of your younger days becomes something deeper, something more familiar. And that's not a bad thing. But sometimes that deep familiarity can turn into distance. The conversations get shorter, the laughter gets quieter. And one day, you wake up next to someone who feels more like a roommate than a partner. Does that sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. Marriage after 60 comes with its own set of challenges. Maybe the kids have moved out and the house feels emptier. Maybe retirement has changed your daily routine and you're spending more time together than ever. But instead of bringing you closer, it's causing tension. Or maybe after decades of being together, it just feels like there's nothing new to say. And here's the hard truth. If you don't actively nurture your marriage, it won't stay the same. It will either grow stronger or it will slowly fade. But here's the good news. Even if things feel distant right now, even if it's been years since you truly connected, there is a way to bring that spark back. And it starts with one simple but powerful shift in the way you think about your relationship. It's not about grand romantic gestures. It's not about fixing every problem overnight. The real secret to a happy marriage after 60 isn't about changing your partner. It's about changing how you show up in your marriage. Think about the early days of your relationship. Remember how much effort you put in? The little surprises, the deep conversations, the way you truly listened? Back then, every interaction was filled with curiosity and excitement. Over time, though, we start assuming we know our partner completely. We stop asking questions. We stop noticing the small things. And that's where the distance begins. But here's something you may not have thought about. No matter how long you've been together, your partner is still changing. Just like you, they've grown, evolved, and had new experiences. The person they were at 30 is not the same person they are now at 60 or 70. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly got to know your partner again? If you want to feel closer, start with genuine curiosity. Ask them questions, not just about the past, but about who they are now. What excites them? What dreams do they still have? What worries keep them up at night? It doesn't have to be a serious sit-down conversation. It can be as simple as asking over dinner, if you could do anything next year, what would it be? Or, what's something you've never told me before? You might be surprised at what you learn. The key is to replace assumptions with curiosity. When you do this, something incredible happens. You begin to see your partner with fresh eyes. And that's where true connection begins. But connection isn't just about words. It's also about actions. When was the last time you showed appreciation for the small things? Not just a quick thank you, but a heartfelt moment where you truly acknowledge something your partner does for you? After years of being together, it's easy to take things for granted. You assume they know you appreciate them. But here's the thing. Everyone wants to feel valued. A simple, I love the way you make my coffee in the morning, or I noticed how much effort you put into taking care of the house, and I just want to say thank you, can mean the world. And this goes both ways. If you feel like your partner doesn't appreciate you as much as they used to, don't wait for them to change first. Start showing appreciation and watch how it shifts the energy between you. And here's one more thing. Physical connection matters too. No, I'm not just talking about intimacy. I'm talking about the small touches. A hand on the shoulder, a warm hug, a playful nudge. Science shows that even brief moments of physical touch release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which strengthens feelings of closeness and trust. You don't have to wait for a perfect moment. Next time you walk past your partner, place your hand on their back for a second. When you're watching TV, reach for their hand. These tiny moments add up, and before you know it, that invisible wall between you starts to fade. If things have been feeling distant, don't pressure yourself to fix everything overnight. Start small. A question here, a moment of appreciation there, a gentle touch. The smallest shifts, when done consistently, can completely transform a marriage. Now that we've talked about the power of curiosity, appreciation, and small gestures, let's go even deeper. Because here's the truth. Even if you do all these things, there's one factor that can make or break your marriage at this stage in life. And that's how you handle conflict. Let's be honest. After decades together, you've had your fair share of disagreements. Maybe you've even had the same argument hundreds of times. You know the routine. One of you says something, the other reacts, and before you know it, you're caught in the same cycle. But here's something most couples don't realize. It's not the disagreements themselves that cause distance. It's the way you respond to them. Think about it. Every couple argues. But have you ever noticed how some couples seem to bounce back quickly, while others hold on to resentment for days, months, or even years? The difference isn't that happy couples never argue, it's that they repair quickly. So, how do you do that? How do you break out of an old argument pattern and keep small conflicts from turning into lasting wounds? First, let's talk about tone. You've probably heard the saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And at this stage in life, this matters more than ever. Because when you've been with someone for so long, it's easy to slip into a pattern of criticism without even realizing it. For example, imagine your partner forgets to do something you asked. It's tempting to say, "You never listened to me. I can't rely on you for anything." But what if, instead, you said, "I know you didn't mean to forget, but it really frustrated me because I was counting on you." See the difference? The first one attacks their character. The second one focuses on your feelings and the impact of their actions without making them feel like the bad guy. When you shift your tone, something amazing happens. Instead of triggering defensiveness, you create space for real conversation. And that is how real connection is built. Now, let's talk about letting go of the need to win. At this stage in life, ask yourself, what's more important, being right or being happy? Because a lot of the small arguments we have don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Think about the last disagreement you had with your partner. Now ask yourself, in 5 years, will this still matter? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to let it go. This doesn't mean you should ignore your feelings or never stand up for yourself. But sometimes we hold on to grudges over things that, in the long run, won't make a difference. And every moment we spend being angry is a moment we lose to connect, to laugh, and to enjoy the time we have together. If something does need to be addressed, here's a little trick. Instead of thinking of it as winning an argument, think of it as solving a puzzle together. For example, instead of saying, "You always leave the dishes in the sink and it drives me crazy," try, "How can we find a way to make this easier for both of us?" This small shift turns an argument into teamwork. And when you approach things as a team, you'll be amazed at how much easier it is to find solutions. Now let's talk about something even deeper: forgiveness. After so many years together, there are probably things you're still holding on to. Maybe it's something your partner said years ago that hurt you. Maybe it's something they did that you never really got over. And I get it. Letting go isn't easy. But ask yourself this: is holding on to that pain helping your marriage, or is it creating distance? Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending something didn't happen. It doesn't mean saying it's okay if it wasn't. It means making a choice, not for them, but for you. A choice to stop carrying that weight. Because here's the thing: the past can't be changed, but the present can. And when you let go of old resentment, you create space for something new. So here's a challenge for you. Think of one thing, just one, that you've been holding on to, and ask yourself, can I let this go? Can I choose to move forward instead of looking back? Because sometimes the biggest secret to a happy marriage isn't about what you add, it's about what you release. Now that we've talked about handling conflict, letting go of the need to win, and the power of forgiveness, let's shift our focus to something just as important: bringing joy back into your marriage. Because after so many years together, it's easy to fall into routines. You wake up, go through the day, maybe watch TV in the evening, and before you know it, another week has passed. And sure, there's comfort in routine, but sometimes routine can turn into stagnation. Think back to when you first fell in love. What made it exciting? It wasn't just the newness, it was the effort, the little surprises, the adventures, the moments of laughter. But here's the good news: just because you've been together for decades doesn't mean the fun has to stop. In fact, now is the perfect time to bring it back. And it starts with one simple thing: playfulness. You see, most couples don't fall out of love because they argue too much. They fall out of love because they stop having fun together. They stop flirting. They stop laughing over silly things. They stop making an effort to create joy. So how do you bring that spark back? It can be as simple as sharing an inside joke, leaving a sweet note in a place they'll find it, sending a random text that says, "Thinking of you today." Or how about doing something completely unexpected? Maybe it's dancing in the kitchen while making dinner. Maybe it's trying something new together, like a cooking class, a short road trip, or even just switching up your normal routine. Because here's something important: joy doesn't just happen. You have to create it. And speaking of creating joy, let's talk about one of the most powerful things you can do for your marriage after 60. And that is growing together. A lot of people think marriage is about staying the same, but the truth is, we're always changing. You're not the same person you were at 25, and neither is your partner. The question is, are you growing in the same direction or drifting apart? One of the best ways to keep your bond strong is to keep discovering new things together. Maybe it's reading the same book and discussing it. Maybe it's learning a skill, picking up a new hobby, or setting a small goal as a team. Because when you grow together, you don't just stay connected, you create new things to connect over. And that keeps your relationship fresh, no matter how many years have passed. Now, let's talk about one of the most overlooked secrets to a happy marriage: independence. It sounds strange, right? After all, we're talking about building a stronger bond. But here's the thing: spending time apart is just as important as spending time together. Why? Because when you have your own interests, your own activities, and your own friendships, you bring more to the relationship. You have new things to talk about, new energy, and a sense of fulfillment that doesn't rely entirely on your partner. So if you've been doing everything together for years, try this. Take a little space. Pursue something that's just for you. Encourage your partner to do the same. And then come back together and share those experiences. Because the strongest relationships aren't the ones where two people are dependent on each other for happiness. They're the ones where two whole people choose to build a life together. So if there's one message I want you to take away from this, it's this. Love is not just something you feel, it's something you do. It's the small choices, the everyday moments, the effort you put in, even after all these years. And the best part? It's never too late to make a change. Never too late to bring back joy, to reconnect, and to create a marriage that feels just as meaningful, if not more, than when it first began. Because the number one secret to a happy marriage after 60, it's not about waiting for happiness to come to you. It's about choosing it every single day. That's the final part of your script. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments.